Welcome to Drill Down Earnings. We have quarterly results from Palantir, and these results were really strong. This is the business story behind one stock on a move. I'm Cory Johnson, Chief Market Strategist from Epistrophy Capital Research. And Wall Street likes a beat or a miss. This was certainly a beat of $725 million in revenues and an adjusted 10 cents per share in earnings. I don't like these adjustments. The real earnings were 6 cents a share, but Wall Street likes the adjustments. So whatever, it was better than what Wall Street expected. Nonetheless, we saw a big company growing faster and really driven by AI. The revenue growth rate accelerated to 30% on a year-over-year basis. So again, not just growing revenues, but growing them at a faster and faster rate every single quarter for the last year. When we think about Palantir's business, this may have started out as principally a defense contractor, principally a CIA contractor, we expect, but 56% of their revenues from government, 44% from commercial, but just a bombastic quarter here. Just what we need in time for this election, right? With 30% growth, 44% revenue growth in the U.S. They raised their guidance. They raised their guidance on commercial revenues. They raised their guidance on free cash flow, operating income. They say AI demand won't slow down was in the headline. In their printed comments, they said a juggernaut is emerging. This is a software century, and we intend to take the entire market. The bombast continued. We're going to hear from Alex Karp in just a second, the CEO. But just a pretty strong quarter. 104 deals closed in the quarter of over $1 million. Customer count up 39%. And the commercial business, again, this is a government business mainly, but the commercial business is strong, growing at 27%. But the government business really accelerated. The commercial business had been growing faster. Government spending, very aggressive in the quarter, and you can see them with 33% growth in their government business. The customer count, as I mentioned, U.S. customers up to 321 U.S. customers of over $1 million. And again, commercial customers really strong here. Now, when they talked about the speed of the adoption of AI in the government and saying that more than Europe, more than anywhere, government is really rushing in to embrace AI, particularly in the military, but also with some allies and partners in the U.S. Embracing, but the rest maybe being left behind, and that innovation is happening in the U.S. and it's happening, and the spending is happening in the U.S. as well. After hours, the stock traded straight up 13%, which is remarkable. 13% is a big number, don't get me wrong, but after 119% move in the last year, it's just a fantastic increase in the value of this expensive company. Now, that AI business in the US, if you take the government and the commercial business just for the US, that grew at 44%. And CEO Alex Karp was taking a victory lap in the video comments, which we love the video comments, but in the comments they had for us, he started off by saying, we might as well just go home, these numbers are so good. But listen to how it's a lengthy bite, but I thought it might be interesting to hear how he talks about this vindication of his plan for Palantir.
We've been saying since we went public in a DPO that we would build infrastructure to make America and its allies the dominant force in the world. We claimed to much skepticism that this would be done in a software product, that defense and commercial industry would be driven by software, hardware, hybrid technologies, that there were very few companies in the world that could actually do that these companies are basically only built in America, that the companies that have tried to do this that aren't Palantir are built by ex-Palantirians, that the financials of Palantir would flow from our products and our culture and our way of implementing, that we would bring violence and death to our enemies while targeting and general issues of safety better for our allies and for Americans, that we would stand by our values in thick and thin, including that the West and America are superior ways of organizing and that this is a great country and historically anomalous in its greatness, and that we would build a company with the best people from all over the world, but primarily from America, to power America and its allies. And even we are shocked by the 44% growth in the U.S. off of a $2 billion base.
So that kind of growth off a $2 billion base, pretty strong. All right, what's it all mean? What's one number that tells us a whole lot in the drill down earnings summary? Well, Palantir Q3 earnings tell us one thing, that the U.S. is spending on AI and the U.S. government is spending in AI, and the U.S. military is spending on AI. Overall, it helped Palantir get to 30% growth rate. But I think the one number that tells us the most about this whole thing is that the US government spent 40% more than it did just a year ago on AI from Palantir, over $300 million in the quarter. Thanks for listening to Drill Down Earnings. I'm Cory Johnson.